With over $10 million reward for leading information about his location offered by the U.S. State Department, Sirajuddin Haqqani was appointed the Interior Minister of Afghanistan under the de facto rule of the Taliban. What makes him so dreaded and powerful is his association with the Taliban and the Haqqani Network. Watch the video till the end, as we tell you more about him, his actions, and why Sirajuddin Haqqani is a feared Haqqani Network leader. Early life. He is one of the at least 7 sons of Jalaluddin Haqqani, who famously is the founder of the Haqqani Network. During his life, Jalaluddin Haqqani held a prominent position in Afghanistan and had close ties to both the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. Sirajuddin is the son of his Arab Emirati wife. After his death was announced in September 2018, Sirajuddin had already taken charge as the network leader. The Haqqani family comes from southeastern Afghanistan to the Mezo clan of the Zadran Pashtun tribe. Jalaluddin became a prominent senior military leader during the Soviet occupation of Afghanistan. Born in 1979, he spent most of his childhood in Mirimshah in the Waziristan region of northern Pakistan. Jalaluddin Haqqani himself taught him in his early years of education at home, and later he was schooled at the famous Deobandi Islamic seminary called Darul Uloom Haqqani in Akora Khatak, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Notoriously, this institution has been claimed to produce graduates that joined the Taliban afterward. Many prominent positions in the Pakistani and Afghan wings of the Taliban organization have also been held by seminary graduates. Whether the connections pupils make while at the institute or if the education it provides makes them join the Taliban forces, we can't say for sure. The title Haqqani was taken from the Darul Uloom Haqqaniya, attended by many leading figures of the Haqqani Network. After completing his religious education, he remained close to his father on most of his journeys during the Mujahideen's fight against the USSR, which greatly influenced him. Haqqani Network. To understand the Haqqani Network, we must first look at the life of Sirajuddin's father, Jalaluddin Haqqani. This man led the Sunni Islamist militant organization known as the Haqqani Network. In 1979, he was fighting the Soviets in Afghanistan. The American CIA greatly supported him through the Pakistani military. With the end of the Soviet invasion of the land, the power of the Haqqani Network diminished, and the Taliban took control of the country. Later, when the American forces entered Afghanistan, the militant group suddenly faced a common enemy. Now, Jalaluddin allied with the Afghan Taliban as that group's Minister of Tribal and Border Affairs when the Taliban held power in Afghanistan during the mid to late 1990s. He knew Osama bin Laden well and was recognized as one of bin Laden's closest mentors during bin Laden's formative years in the 1980s Afghan war. Sirajuddin Haqqani, Jalaluddin's son, currently leads the group's day-to-day activities. In 2008, the U.S. added Sirajuddin to the list of terrorists. In August 2015, he was named as a deputy to newly appointed Taliban leader Mullah Akhtar Mohammad Mansour, which greatly enhanced the alliance between the Haqqanis and the Taliban. The Haqqani Network is based in northern Waziristan, Pakistan. The group executes its operations in Afghanistan and Kabul from Pakistan. The Haqqanis are feared as they are the most lethal and sophisticated rebels that have made the U.S., coalition, and Afghan forces in Afghanistan their prime target. Their attacks typically are small arms assaults, occasional rocket attacks, IEDs, suicide attacks, and attacks using bomb-laden vehicles. The network is responsible for some of the most high-profile attacks of the Afghan war, including the June 2011 assault on the Kabul Intercontinental Hotel, conducted jointly with the Afghan Taliban, and 2 major suicide bombings in 2008 and 2009 at the Indian Embassy in Kabul. In September 2011, the Haqqanis participated in an assault against significant targets in Kabul, including the U.S. Embassy, International Security Assistance Force headquarters, the Afghan Presidential Palace, and the Afghan National Directorate of Security headquarters, which lasted a day. More recently, in October 2013, they deployed a truck bomb against forward operating base Good in Paktia province. Luckily, the Afghan security forces intercepted it. The device did not detonate and would have proved to be devastating as it contained some 61,500 pounds of explosives and was the largest truck bomb ever built. The group is also involved in several criminal activities in Afghanistan and Pakistan, including extortion, kidnapping for ransom, and smuggling. Taliban Association. Haqqani Network and the Taliban have long been having friendly relations with Haqqani leaders, but it wasn't until 1994 that they affiliated with it. The Haqqani Network pledged allegiance to the Taliban in 1995 and has been an increasingly incorporated wing of the group ever since. after the fall of Kabul, when the Taliban came to power in Afghanistan and assumed de facto control over the country. They offered a cabinet-level position of Minister of Tribal Affairs to the Haqqani group, which they accepted. When the Taliban government ended with the invasion of U.S. forces in Afghanistan in 2001, the Haqqani group escaped to bordering areas of Pakistan, regrouping and initiating their fight against the coalition forces across the border. The Taliban have given the Haqqani group control of the security operations in Kabul after the fall of Kabul in the 2021 Taliban offensive. He is now also the deputy chief of the Taliban. Al-Qaeda Association. Both Al-Qaeda and the Haqqani Network have been associated since the inception of Al-Qaeda. The difference between both is that Al-Qaeda has an international scope of goals. In contrast, the Haqqani Network has limited its operations to regional matters concerning only Afghanistan and the Pashtun tribe. Both groups have the same ideological foundation. However, the Haqqani Network may be slightly lesser conservative than the Taliban. The Haqqani Network is believed to assist and protect the earliest Al-Qaeda training camps for Afghan mujahideen and foreign fighters in the Loya Paktia region of Afghanistan. This was the result of stronger ties between Haqqanis and bin Laden. The network was the only group to welcome fighters from outside the region into its ranks, thus linking it to the broader jihad struggles and giving birth to the following decade of what would become known as global jihadism. It is assumed that the Haqqani Network assisted with the help of its forces in the escape of Al-Qaeda into safe havens in Pakistan. Activities. The network operates in the Fatah region of federally administered tribal areas of Pakistan near the border of Afghanistan. This region remains ambiguous, so they can remain cloaked. The activities hardly face interference with the goal of re-establishing the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan and supporting the re-emergence of the Afghan Taliban's authority over the country. As long as the Afghan war lasted, the Haqqani Network executed the deadliest and highest-profile terrorist attacks on U.S. forces. It can't be a coincidence that Khalil-ur-Rahman Haqqani, a terrorist with a $5 million U.S. reward on his head, was appointed the head of security in the Afghan capital, and just after 1 week in August 2021 suicide bombing at the Kabul airport killed 13 U.S. soldiers and over 160 Afghan civilians. When the Taliban announced a new government in September, several members of the Haqqani Network were given critical ministerial positions, handing the terrorist group control of internal security in Afghanistan. It increasingly seems that the fall of Kabul was as much a victory for the Haqqani Network as it was for the traditional Taliban leadership. A senior Haqqani commander even engaged in a fistfight with a key Taliban leader, sending him fleeing from the capital to traditional Taliban strongholds in the south. Sirajuddin Haqqani remains to this day wanted for questioning in connection with the January 2008 attack on a hotel in Kabul, Afghanistan that killed 6 people, including an American citizen, David Thor Hessler. This attack was why his name was cropped up for the first time. He is believed to have coordinated and participated in cross-border attacks against the United States and coalition forces in Afghanistan. Haqqani also allegedly was involved in planning the assassination attempt on Afghan President Hamid Karzai in 2008. Another one of the attacks that the Haqqani Network organized was the bombing of late December 2008 in Kabul at a barracks near an elementary school, killing several schoolchildren, an Afghan guard, and a soldier. Wanted by the state of U.S. Since he is allegedly the mastermind behind the Kabul hotel attack in 2008 that also killed an American citizen, he is wanted by the state of the U.S. for questioning. He regularly meets foreign diplomats and speaks in public, but is also the FBI's most wanted man in Afghanistan. Haqqani's public appearances stand at odds with a U.S. call for information about his whereabouts. The Reward for Justice, a U.S. Department of State program aimed at combating international terrorism, offers $10 million for information that will lead to Haqqani's arrest. The recent Taliban government in Afghanistan has even strengthened his safety and positions, as he is now the acting Interior Minister of Afghanistan. Recent appearances on media. Interestingly, Sirajuddin has always evaded the camera's eye, and his face has either been hidden completely or blurred in pictures. His brother, Anas Haqqani, usually represented him before at public meetings and events, but recently he made his maiden appearance at a ceremony in Kabul, where he was openly photographed, and people got to see his face for the first time. This event was the passing out parade for the new Afghan police recruits. He stated that his visit was to gain the trust of the Afghan people. During his 30-minute-long speech, He tried his best to gain the people's trust and emphasized portraying the Taliban's stand that they will not allow the Afghan land to be used against any foreign state in the future. He has been interviewed for the first time by CNN's Christine Amanpour. She questioned him about how the Taliban are going to take this government ahead, girls' education to their rights. He clearly answered that they have no reservations about female education and that it is obligatory for all to gain an education, but he cleared that the systems would take time to adjust. He also mentioned that the new government would like to have friendly relations with all world countries. However, the US has already closed its embassy in Kabul. That's it for today's video. If you found this video interesting and helpful, then make sure to hit the like button and do subscribe to our channel so that you always stay ahead of everyone and never miss out on any of the amazing and informative videos we have in store for you. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.